Hello, everyone. The Vibekage here. This won the poll, I guess, so we're doing it. What if Naruto was trained by the Vibekage? So, um, yeah. Here is where shit gets fun. Only because, yeah, so, here's where our training begins with Naruto, and he would grow up in the Leaf Village still as normal. Where I'm training him would be when he starts the Ninja Academy at the age of 6. How this works is Naruto, he had just recently gotten his shit slapped by some bullies, tunings, ninjas who pick on him. Me, who just happens to be cruising the multiverse due to some specialty I have, I stumble upon little Naruto. I would heal my boy and grab him. He's unconscious before I take him into, I guess you could say, my pocket dimension, where you would see this giant tree. It's connected to the multiverse in multiple ways. It draws power and energy from the whole universe. It's a very sustainable tree. It gives delicious fruit. It's how I obtain my power as the Vibekage. I used to just question the multiverse and find meaning through nothing. And it was strange facing the whole inevitable death and consumption. It drove me to madness, and I wanted answers to the universe to, seemingly fill my joy, but I just ended up getting the ability to just go through multiple dimensions once I entered the Tree of Origins, and, well, I ate the fruit, and now I can multi-travel, so, yeah, I'm gonna train some Naruto. Train my boy Naruto. Anyway, this is funny but weird. Because I like seeing those, what if I was in AHA to train certain characters from other YouTubers? Those are actually pretty entertaining. Um, anyway, my bad. As Naruto would wake up, he would be under the tree, where I'm just, like, chilling, eating the fruit. As a little Pikachu would, no, not Pikachu, Pichu would run up to Naruto and, say, Pichu. As Naruto's just like, what the? As it goes onto his shoulder and, just laughs, nuzzles to him. Naruto would say, hey, that tickles, as he would scratch its little head, and he would then hold the little Pichu. I dive down from my spot, telling him that I have seen multiple futures, and I know what will happen, my boy. As I pull out a white and red robes, the ones that you would see him wearing right there, as the red one would have the same design as this one. It's just a different color scheme because I want Naruto to have drip. Anyway, I tell Naruto that, long story short, you're going to be put through a lot of bullshit before you get your happy ending. Naruto, he looks down as he's saying, blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna let you know now. It's okay to tell those villagers to go fuck themselves. Naruto's just like, but, no, it's fine. You have nothing to prove to anyone. Since I'm technically not a villager, I'm gonna let you know this. Within you, there is a power sealed within you. It is known as the Nine Tails. I know you were taught in school that the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, had defeated and killed the Nine Tails. But in reality, the Nine Tails cannot be killed. It can only be sealed. It is made out of chakra. You see, if Minato were to have, quote-unquote, killed the Biju, it only would have dispersed its chakra and reformed outside of the village somewhere else. And that would cause a bigger risk if the Leaf Village could not find it in time, or if another person finds it and steals the Nine Tails. Granted, it would be smaller and weaker, but they would still be able to steal the Nine Tails. The Nine Tails could grow in power by sacrificing weaker shinobi or own villagers. It is not beyond what people have done in the war to use their own men in such a way. So, Minato chose you. And there's a reason why. That reason, you know, I'll let you know when, hey, when you can make contact with that fox inside you. But I gotta train you. And that seal on your fox, on your tummy, yeah, that's gonna prevent you for a while. So, he's gonna fuck around with your chakra. So, as I pull out this little flask, I toss it to Naruto. Naruto thinks it's alcohol, but it's not. As I tell him, it's just juice from one of the trees. As I open a portal right before his eyes, stick my hand through it, pull it out, and I would pull out a special red fruit with special, I guess you could say, star patterns around it. As I would just naturally eat it, Naruto would ask, why can't he have a fruit? To put it simple, you're too young, you're too weak. This juice is really filtered out, and it's more or less just like for me to find someone who I want to train. Now, you can drink as much as you want, but I will warn you this. Yeah, I did, for the sake of my hilarity, put a lot of laxatives in that juice. Why? Because if you want power, I'm gonna make you shit out your brains. Why? Because I'm gonna have to fill you with a fuck ton of knowledge. That makes no sense. Yeah, it doesn't. But you see, I love watching anime. And there's this studio called Studio Trigger. And I've taken something to heart about what they do. And what's that? They make absolutely no fucking sense. Oh. How much do I drink? Like I said, the more you drink, the stronger you get, but you'll... As Pichu smells the juice, and then quickly runs off, goes to where I am, as I pick up the Pichu. I tell him, if you finish the whole flask, you can keep Pichu too. As he's just like, really? Yeah. He'll evolve too. He what? Yeah. I was able to bring Pokemon into my place once I visited that world. It was actually pretty cool. I have a few of them myself. I guess you could say they could work similar to how people in your ninja world have summoning contracts, but they would actually carry up to 6. Really? Yeah, no. As I told Naruto, drink the juice, and I can explain it while, after. Naruto just wide-eyed, just chugs the whole bitch. His stomach rumbles as he's just saying, oh no. As he quickly books it. He has no idea where he's running to, but he just feels his stomach just rumbling really, really badly. He feels like he's about to shit out his whole bones as he then Fuck, I thought it'd be louder. I'm trying to burp on command. I used to be able to do it as a kid. Fuck. No, Naruto lets out a monstrous belch like Appa would, as then he feels normal. I would open a portal, walk towards Naruto, pat him on the back, as I say, it works every time. As Pichu then lands on his head, as it then burrows into his hair, taking a little nap. As we do a time skip, 4 years have passed. I have taught Naruto 5 abilities of universal energies. For you see, one thing is I gave him something called the Void Wind, which snuffs out any and all forms of positive or negative energy. A neutral form. Now, this is, I guess you could say, he still weaves hand signs for it since the juice does let him use access to it. It just mutates. Whatever I teach him, he has to use chakra to subsequently use this universal energy. So yeah. He would take a deep breath in, and when he exhales, it would be a black wind. And if you are using jutsu of any kind, chakra of any kind, genjutsu, dojutsu, anything, it's nullified. And if you breathe it in, there's now a time limit to how long you're nullified, since your positive chakra is just sealed away. Now, the other one I gave him is Limitless and Limited Domain, which is just pocket dimensions. Don't worry. Now, one thing that I noticed about Naruto after he drank the juice, he inherited one ability that means he does not need to put effort to learn the other. He had inherited the voice of all things. I seemingly have it too. I also have the sight of the multiverse, which that's the thing he's gonna have to work at now. You see, the voice of all things let him now communicate with Pichu a lot more. He found it kind of weird how one day he heard Pichu talk to him. And then as we're exploring and training, he would hear other animals speaking. He could hear everything. He could understand everything, no matter what language they spoke of. He couldn't necessarily know what they're saying. Oh yeah, now I can burp. Fuck you. Anyway, like I said, he wouldn't necessarily know the language, but he would know what their gist is. He'd know that, this is what we gotta do, this is what we gotta do. Fight, friendly, foe, it don't matter. He would know right away. He could feel out people's true intentions because he could hear their souls. Now, the sight of the multiverse jutsu would technically require him to put roughly half of all of his chakra reserves in a good day into his eyes. This would then allow his pupils, irises, to split into multiple ones throughout his whole eyeball. It looks very fucking disturbing to normal people, for you see, it would look like he has multiple eyes inside one eye that all connect, and the pupils do twitch and look around at different directions. It looks like his eyes are now fly eyes with pupils. It's disturbing as fuck, yes, we know, but the trade-off in the ability gives us future vision to the highest degree, seeing every single possibility that our opponent could make, can make, will make, and then it lets us manipulate it to our advantage. This, is very chakra consuming for Naruto, so he can only use it in short bursts. So no more than 10 seconds at a time, honestly. If not, he probably would collapse from chakra exhaustion. So, yeah, 10 seconds in a day. That's the longest cap for his multiverse vision. But, once he has it, in those 10 seconds, you can't hit Naruto. He'll know all your moves, he'll counter you, and he'll manipulate the future to his advantage. As other things I gave him is the emotional spectrum scroll. Think of the lanterns. You know how they all have different colors to represent different emotions? I gave him the emotional spectrum jutsu scroll. So, in a sense, what lanterns could do, he could do using chakra rather than the lantern rings. So using his chakra, he could make constructs. Not like then, but it would actually take the shape of his chakra. So this means he's pushing out and forming his chakra. It could retract back into him. And, well, it's difficult at first, yeah. He also found he gained empathy. He could feel other people's emotions. And if he places his hand on them, with a little bit of chakra, he can actually feel all of their emotions and bring up any emotions that they have long buried deep within them. He could understand what causes them so much pain and bring out any and all lost joy emotions that they have sealed within them. He can bring it up easily, just by touch. He also has the ability of love portals, or portals to things that he has great affection towards, not just love. This kind of happened when Pichu got lost. He really, really wanted to, because he was getting scared. He just wanted his little buddy back. I could tell him that, hey, focus on the location of your little buddy, and since you have a lot of emotional ties with him, a portal will open. But he kind of did it subconsciously. So I'm like, hey, my little bastard, good boy. As he would open a pink portal, and Pichu would see this, he would quickly jump through it, hit Naruto, because Naruto has his eyes closed. He didn't realize that he had opened the portal. The portal disappears once Pichu knocks into him. As I explained to Naruto, that's actually pretty decent. Subconsciously doing it. And I explained, The more emotions you invest with someone, the more energy you're giving them to you. What do you mean? The emotional spectrum jutsu kind of has where you're lending your chakra out to people. Wait, what? Yeah. Think about it. You're already doing your energy constructs, you're forcing out your chakra. So, one of the things is when you care about something really deeply, or love it, or in my case, food. As I point up to the tree and the fruit says, like, I can sense any and all food, so I can just open a portal. As I do it again, I grab a bag of potato barbecue chips. Naruto recognizes whose these are, as then I throw it back into the, dimension. As, yeah, I just kind of finesse Choji's chips out of his hands. Shino and Ino are just like, what the fuck? As then the bag, quickly hits Choji in the face again, and then the portal closes as they run off. They have no idea what the fuck is going on. But, they go to Hiruzen. They go to their dad, and then they go to Hiruzen. As Hiruzen is just wondering, what's going on. They've not been able to find Naruto. I haven't really done much but send him a letter saying, hey, fuck you for failing the fourth. You'll get him back in a few years. As Naruto, he's 10, so I feel like my training should be done. So, the last thing I give him, he's already gained decent control of his voice of all things. He knows not to abuse the sight of the multiverse. He's gained his limitless and limited domains, which are just pocket dimension jutsus, which we'll get into later because there are different ones that he has. Now, the infinite... No, not the infinite, but the emotional spectrum jutsus, the one that requires his emotions as fuel. I did tell him, if he's not careful with his rage, it could overflow and inadvertently cause the QB to leak out and spew out of its mouth. You see, the red one has the most busted of strength. Yeah, but using rage as that source of power tends to, leave one's mind fucked up if their will is not strong enough. Excuse me. Great, now I can't stop burping, which is bullshit. Anyway, as he can also fly when he uses his chakra around his body, which, yeah, bullshit, but hey, my last gift to you, Naruto, my boy, before I send you back to the Naruto world. Wait, the Naruto world? Your world. Why'd you call it Naruto world? I mean, that's what I refer to it as. Okay. As, he has his gear. He has his orange pants and black, he has his shonen drip, and he has the black pants and black jacket drip with some black boots too. That's my personal drip for him. He wanted to keep the orange one, so I just tweaked it a little bit, some flair. Anyway, as I place my hand on Naruto's chest and weave a triangle. Within that triangle, I draw 3 more triangles. As I do tell Naruto, I was inspired by a gaming series that I've never played because of how cool the name sounds and what I kind of tapped into. Since they each have the same second last word, I figured just miss these 3 and use that, but, admit that, hey, not my original idea. It's from these people. As Naruto, he's just curious because now he wants to play the game. But I tell him, when you're older. Why? Because ninjas should not have video games yet. That's Boruto. Who? Your son. I'll have a kid? With who? I can let you change that. But, just know, I did cap your future vision. Wait, for how long? No more than 3 years ahead of time. I can't let you see Two-Head. No spoilers. As Naruto pouts. But, back to the triangles within the triangles. As within this, I give him access to the Speed Force, the Sage Force, and the Strength Force. Now, if you don't know Speed Force, think of Flash. Where, yes, with lightning chakra being its conduit, electricity would spark off of Naruto, and he, in a sense, would be the Flash. Not only that, the Sage Force is, think of heightened psychic jutsu. This would make Sage Mode training a lot easier for him later on in life. My gift to him for later. Now, Strength Force, think of this as kind of self-implied super strength, enhancing one's chakra to a heightened level. This would put Naruto with just barely at Chunin level strength. Which, yeah, no, Naruto, I am making him a little bit more stronger than it should be, but it's only because he still has time at the academy. Which I do tell him, these people can't learn your jutsu. Mostly because they didn't drink the juice like you did. And you gotta tell them, if they want to, the condition is you have to drink the juice of an ogre. The juice of an ogre? Yeah, just let them figure it out. That makes no sense. Studio Trigger? Studio Trigger. Okay, what if someone asks me, what about if things don't make sense? And you just tell them, meh, it's just to trigger you. As Naruto would get a slight grin as I pet the boy out. I've grown to love the boy. He's really good. As Naruto, he accepts the three. He accepts the Triforce, the fusion of Speed Force, Sage Force, and Strength Force. His intelligence is now on par with Shikamaru. His strength, I already kind of said how it's going to be, added. So, Naruto is now sent back to the ninja world, of course with a evolved Pichu, thus being Pikachu. However, we don't go to the Hidden Leaf right away. You'll see, I know something that's going to happen that I kind of need to prevent. So, when I go, me and Naruto, we go to this weird shack that has a lot of weird masks. I grab one in particular that Naruto, he just had a meh feeling about, as the mask cracks in my hand, just ever so slightly, as red aura starts to ooze out of it. As I pull it out, I send half of it into Naruto, the other half into Pikachu. As Kurama he wakes up as he feels his power rushing and flooding back into him. He knows what we've been doing, and he's not been able to make contact with Naruto. Mostly because I forbid it. But now he will be able to soon. So, anyway, as Kurama feels his chakra being flooded back into him, Minato, in the belly of the Soul Reaper, sees me ripping out Kurama out of him, giving it to Naruto. Well, someone who he thinks is Naruto. He sees the whisker marks and blue hair. As I make a mental link with Minato and tell him, yeah, that's Naruto. I'm just helping him reach the dream. As, the Death Reaper is kind of pissed that I'm doing this, but I did promise it something in return, that Naruto, my boy, will help me with. Anyway, the Reaper's stomach is closed, the mask is fixed. Naruto, he feels weird, but no difference, as I tell him, the difference wasn't within you. Well, wasn't you, but within you. The fox had gained a fraction of its power back, as then he points to Pikachu, who's now in a KCM mode, because, it's as simple as Kurama's consciousness that is split. I told Kurama, hey, just pair up with just let the little mouse thing. As Kurama's just like, why would I do that? Why would I obey you? Bro, I just freed you from the death god's stomach. Fair point. Who are you? I'm the Vibekage. The what? Don't worry about it. My village is within dimensions that cannot be reached by normal means. Now, Kurama, I've returned part of you back to your yin half. The is part I'm putting in Pikachu just as a safety precaution. What do you mean? If Naruto were to ever, lose control, Pikachu's Yang half would be able to siphon out some of your chakra. It would only be temporary. It would help lessen the strain on Naruto, giving him more of a grip on his own mental sanity, helping other people. As Kurama saying, "You really think I'm influencing that?" Well, only half of your Yang half is returning to your Yin. So, you're probably still gonna be a massive dick to him. Hey, don't hate me. It's just how things go. As, you know, I pull out a knife that Naruto saw me literally pull out from the mask's mouth as I hand it to him. And I tell him, this is gonna be your main weapon. The Shinigami's knife. In order to feed the hunger that we had taken from it. As... Yeah, this is gonna sound fucked up, but the knife now, in a sense, is a haunted knife. In a sense, Naruto pulls out this blade. Anyone who is cut or stabbed by it will have their soul ripped out and fed to the Shinigami that is, able to access it. Once Naruto seals the blade again, the soul is sent into the Shinigami's dimension where he could feed on it. It's cruel, it's fucked, and it's a slight twist on the Totsuka blade, but now, Naruto, he does feel kind of weird about taking this, but I tell him, shit gotta happen. As, I walk him to the Leaf Gate village. You would have Jonin try and stop me, but Naruto and I would access the Triforce and speed blitz past all of them, literally avoiding everyone until we are at the office at Hiruzen. The three elders are there, the elders with some clan heads. We have Fukaku and Hayashi, the Hyuga one, as they are trying to arrange a marriage for Sasuke and Hinata. They're letting him know that this is what's going to happen. As I appear, Naruto's right next to me. Hinata and Sasuke, they're right next to each other. As they're holding hands. The two actually kind of had gained a unique relationship that I'll describe later. Anyway, as they see me with a blonde-haired boy with whisker marks, as I casually walk over to Minato's photo and rest, just casually as I look at it, and then look at Naruto, and then I look at them, as I tell Hiruzen, well, I delivered my promise, as Naruto, he does have some bags with him, as I tell Hiruzen. So, if there is no house ready for him, I'll let you know that he'll be just outside of the village, right outside the gates, in the forest. There'll be a tree, as I drop a kunai, and there is the Flying Raijin's formula on it, as he's just like, what the? Yeah, I took this from Minato's estate. Naruto, do you want to know where the 4th Hokage lived? Yeah! As Hasashi and Fukaku, they're looking at me. The elders are looking at me. How dare you come in here? Who the hell are you? As I snap my finger at these motherfuckers. As don't get me wrong. I'm about to put them in their place. As when I snap my fingers, chains had appeared around all of their throats, hoisting them up in the air, ready for a hanging, honestly. The only ones who weren't affected were Sasuke, Hinata, Naruto, and Hiruzen. As the 5 people are struggling to catch their breath, I snap my fingers again, this time to stop the Anbu to prevent me from doing anything else. As I look at Hiruzen, and I say, when I put them down, if your dogs come for me, then I will put them down. As I let my hand go down, the chains would disappear and they all fall on their asses. They would get ready to fight me before Hiruzen would say, enough. So you were the one who took Naruto boy. Yeah, I trained him. Naruto smiles. As Sasuke scowls at Naruto, as he's just like, so the bastard got special training? As I look to Sasuke, and I said, yo, fuck off, you weird emo bitch. As Fukaku, he's saying, don't you dare talk to my son like that. As I look at him, and I, just casually scratch my eye with my middle finger, flipping him off at the same time. As a tick mark would appear above his head, as Hiruzen would say, who are you? I introduced myself as the Vibekage, the one who lives between dimensions. I took Naruto because, well, I like Naruto. As then Pikachu would show up, from Naruto's jacket, as then I point out, and so does Pikachu. As Naruto saying, I named him Sparky. Well, that's clever. As, Pikachu just laughs. Well, yeah, I guess you could say Pikachu laughs. He just says, Pika! As, everyone's just saying, the fuck is that? As Pikachu fully emerges out of Naruto's coat onto the floor. As everyone sees a foot-tall yellow mouse with a thunderbolt for a tail with red cheeks. They're like, Naruto? Yeah, what is that? Oh, that's Pikachu. Well, a Pikachu. I named him Sparky. He's my pet. As Pikachu looks at him and electrocutes Naruto. As Naruto then corrects it, saying, my bad, he's my partner. As everyone's just saying, did that thing just... As Naruto saying, he has electricity powers, as he scratches Pikachu's head, as Pikachu just says, Pika! As, he lifts it back up, holding it similar to how Shizune would carry Tauntaun. Pikachu's just like, the fuck? As Naruto, he's hugging Pikachu. And then he places it on his shoulder. As Pikachu just smiles. As he looks over to Sasuke, Hinata. As he tilts his head. As he jumps off. He goes to them and he starts sniffing them. Their parents are about to tell them to leave that weird rodent thing alone before, Hinata pets it, and so does Sasuke. Pikachu does not spark them. He doesn't electrocute them because he's being a good guy. Now, they're actually entertained by this. Hiruzen would ask, are there more of those things? Not here. Naruto is special. I pet him on the head as I open a portal. They ask me, the fuck do I think I'm going? And I tell them, there was a boy recently born. He's 4 years old right now. He's recently been told he has no quirk. He's the next one that I have to train. As, I pull out a flask, as I toss it and catch it with a grin, as Naruto shivers in fear, as everyone notices Naruto doing that, as they're like, hey, Naruto, are you good? As he's saying, yeah, just a fucked up prank. As I laugh, as I fade into the portal. No one could stop me, honestly. Naruto, he spends the next 2 years with Leaf Village in the academy. He pretty much had pwned Sasuke in taijutsu. When it came to ninja history, it took him a while, but in no time, he caught up. But he doesn't really try in academics, so he would nap around like Shikamaru. The Sage Force kind of has him at that intellect level too, which Shikamaru would notice and pick up on. He would remember Naruto not being this smart, so he'd find it kind of weird. Ow! Pump my back. As Kiba would, in no doubt, try and fight Naruto, which Naruto would even tell him, until you can do your, family's fang over fang, I really don't care. Which annoyed Kiba. Sasuke would be interested in this, as he knows he hasn't beat Naruto, but he's not seen Naruto train. In fact, no one's seen Naruto train. It's really fucking weird. They know that Naruto is living at the Namikaze house, and when they asked why to Lord Third couldn't help but tell them. As Yeah, no. He was in hand to tell, you know, Sasuke and Hinata, yeah, no. Naruto's the fourth son. As soon that became public knowledge to everyone, Naruto had his mind blown, which, hey, he was kind of annoyed that I didn't tell him, but meh. I sent him a letter saying, no spoilers. As he's just like, fair point, fair point. As, you know, that means he wouldn't have been able to see the same shocked expression as Sasuke's face. But, meh, I digress. You see, Naruto, he is a candidate for the Rookie of the Year, and they are curious about the Nine Tails within him, and he does admit we never, made contact with it. He strictly taught me jutsus that were designed so I don't need the fox. People would be interested and constantly ask Naruto to show him these jutsus, but Naruto saying he's never been put in a situation to use said jutsu, so people call bullshit on him a lot. That is until one day. One day in particular. It is 2 days before the graduation exam, as Kiba had been able to convince 3 of his, we'll say, elderly, drunken uncles to help fight Naruto. He had gone on and on about special jutsus that I trained him that he never uses. So he was pissed. So the Inozaka trio and their 3 dogs would all attack Naruto with Fang of their Fangs, which Naruto dodges easily. Naruto would understand that this is Kiba's doing, as he sees Kiba in the distance. Naruto sighs as his chakra erupts from his body as electricity cackles around him. They're surprised because this electricity is blue. Yes, I'm giving him blue speedster lightning, which, due to blue shift, very fast. He's faster than the Raikage by a decent amount, by the way. As he speed blitzes the Inuzakas, drives his fist into Kiba's face, which smashes him into the street pavement, causing a huge crater as Kiba's jaw broken, teeth, blood falling out as he rushes towards the trio of Inuzakas, hitting them each in the ribcage. Cracks and broken bones go into their organs, piercing them, causing internal bleeding. Naruto's not done here. He's not too thrilled about the dog, so he won't do it, as Pikachu stands, rage in his eyes, as the dogs look at Pikachu, then look at each other, as it's seeming like they're laughing. That is until Pikachu bullshits them and hits the shit out of them with a volt tackle, where electricity just emits from Pikachu's body, as in blinding speeds he would hit each one of them, shoulder checking each dog, hitting them up into the air. As he jumps into the air, his tail glows white as he uses Iron Tail. Naruto knows what he's doing and he's just smiling as Pikachu smacks all 3 dogs onto a pile and then finishes them with a thunderbolt. Boom, explosion, dogs electrocuted, barely conscious. The Inozaka members broken as fuck, as Naruto's not done. As he decides it's the perfect chance to show Kiba. It's not just physical training that he had learned, as he weaves some hand signs as green chains erupt from Naruto's hand, engulfing the Inuzakas, shackling them up, drawing him towards them, and they know that Naruto's pulling it towards them. They can feel that this chakra is dense. He's able to make chains out of his chakra and use them to actually contain them, as then they feel something very, surprising. They feel their chakra being siphoned and taken out of their bodies, as Naruto, he's stealing their chakra, but for a reason. As in his hand, those who are just able to see, Kiba isn't, he's out cold, but he's being dragged along as they see this blue-green orb forming in his hand. The Inuzakas are aware that Naruto is the son of Minato Namikaze, so they fear the Rasengan. But no, as the dogs are all pulled to Naruto as well, Akamaru, he kind of was just barking the entire time. As Naruto places his hand on them, the energy that he had stolen from them is all pushed back into them, healing their wounds just to the point where it's not at critical conditions. Their bodies are sore as shit, and now they suffer from chakra exhaustion. So Kiba's jaw is fixed, but the teeth that got knocked out, they're knocked out good. There's like 4 teeth missing from his right side. So, haha. Anyway, graduation time. Naruto passes. Everyone, knew that Kiba couldn't show up because he got his shit slapped. Which, they would have to give him a private exam later. They at first thought failing him and then fighting the Inuzaka clan, but Naruto had said, it's fine. As he even admits he doesn't want to put the beautiful head of the Inuzaka clan in such peril, which Kazumi would look at him, raise the eyebrow, and saying, you realize you just beat the shit out of my son. I healed him too, and I only hit him once. That, and he tried to jump me. She's just like, okay, fair enough, but you're kind of young. Naruto, legit in front of Hiruzen would slap her ass and say, age ain't nothing but a number, baby. As she would growl at Naruto, trying to claw him, as Naruto cannot be touched. Dodging every single move, as Hiruzen is just like, Naruto, what has that man taught you? As, yeah, he does smack Tatsumi on the ass. Now, anyway, after about 5 minutes of her trying to chase Naruto within Hiruzen's office to no avail, she would start panting as Naruto saying, wow, I have better cardio than a Jonin. Wait, no, Clanhead. My bad. That's my fault. Not Naruto's. As he's saying, wow, I have better stamina than a clan head. As he has a grin. As he's saying, if only I was older. As she knows what he's thinking, so she blushes a little bit as she's saying, in your dreams, you brat. As Naruto just shrugs. As he's saying, come on, Pikachu. As, Pikachu would appear. He would go on Naruto's shoulder. As they would walk away. They would go towards Ichiraku Ramen, where Naruto would have a nice bowl of ramen. Now, graduation goes a little bit more differently because when Naruto passes, Mitsuki couldn't get anyone to steal the scroll ceiling. He would try and get Naruto to do it, but Naruto, he ain't having none of that bullshit. As he decides to show Mitsuki something that he doesn't need the scroll of ceiling for. He's just saying that's impossible, as Naruto glows with a faint blue aura around him, a very thin one, as he begins to float. He flies upward at high speeds, going up into the stratosphere, as he sees the stars, he sees the hidden leaf, as he's just saying, what of you? As from his hand, he creates a green sword. But then he remembers something. He kind of has to feed something in order for him to keep Kurama. So he deconstructs his sword as he pulls out the Shinigami knife. He smiles. He unsheaths it as he does, he could feel the Soul Reaper behind him with its mouth open, drooling for its next victim, as he coats it with green aura, as he throws it at high speeds, faster than Mitsuki could react, as it pierces right through his heart, stabbing the ground behind him. As it pierces through him, he would look behind him in disbelief as He sees the knife extracting his chakra as from the sky falling. Not Naruto does he see, but he sees the Shinigami, its mouth open, its teeth ravenous, its tongue out, with saliva falling on his cheek, as the Shinigami grabs him and gives him the kiss of death, as his soul is ripped out from his body, sealed within the sword, sealed within the knife, as Naruto lands peacefully. Mitsuki dies as Naruto pulls out the blade, sheaths it yet again, as the Soul Reaper disappears. Naruto, he goes to Hiruzen and he tells him what happened. Hiruzen says he knows, and he asks Naruto what jutsu was that for him to fly at high speeds, and Mitsuki to die in such a manner is insane. As Hiruzen would only see the knife just go through his chest, he wouldn't see the soul being extracted out of him, since he's not in the Death Reaper seal. So yeah. Anyway, here's where things get more interesting. As Team 7 would still be Sakura, Naruto, Ao, and Sasuke. Sakura has been heartbroken ever since not Naruto, but Sasuke was put in the clan marriage with Hinata. Now, in case you're wondering, what about the Uchiha massacre? Under the simple guise that Danzo never got Shisui Uchiha's eye, and he used Koto Tsukami on all the Uchihas, and my extension on Danzo. So, while Danzo doesn't have his eye, he still has the other Sharingan eyes in his arms. He was just told, hey, leave all living Uchihas the fuck alone, you sick fuck. So he does. He hates it. It's more and less a fear that he knows, even with the eyes he has, he probably can't match an Uchiha. He needs more power. So, yeah. But there would always be the fear that, no, as long as the Uchihas have number, I can't do this alone, even with my numbers. Uchiha army versus a normal army, Uchiha army all the way. He needs power. So Danzo did not destroy the Uchiha clan, so they're still there. So yeah, Itachi, he's just in the Anbu. Chishui, he's in the Anbu. Now, this is where things, like I said, would get interesting. As, Sakura, she low-key has started to look at Naruto in a new light. However, Naruto, being a true man of culture, realizes that it's too early for him to be interested in Sakura, but, older women, hey. You see, he wants some cookies and MILF. Naruto's a fan of cookies and MILF. As, things get kind of interesting. As things still kind of play out as normal, with Kakashi being team leader, Team 7 having terrible teamwork, but with Sakura being tied to the post, and Naruto being the one to feed her. And, she would blush a little bit, but Naruto would also tell her, hey, you're weak as shit. And if you wanna not be a fucking pain in my ass and hold me the fuck down, train. Which, felt like a slap to her, but it's, hey, we're trying to make Sakura useful instead of have her be a useless bitch, because useless bitch to hate or make her useful. So either is less hate, either or. It just depends on the mood I'm in. Or sometimes I can have it where she tries and she fails, and then, comic relief. But there's more to it, as here's where things get interesting. Naruto, he would go to Lord Third and say, are there any missions that he could do on his own that just, would fit him? Hiruzen would say, why would you want to do missions alone? As he's saying he knows he's good as a team, but he would be better without Sasuke, the emo bastard who thinks himself too high and mighty to work with anyone. Kakashi, he kind of is just stuck reading his hentai book, and Sakura too clingy to either me or Sasuke, as she bounces back and forth like some sort of obsessive fangirl. I think she has weird fantasies. Naruto shakes his head as he thinks, I like older women anyway. As Hiruzen looks at him, Naruto, you're like 12. I'm a ninja now. Naruto, you are 12, but I'm a ninja now. Naruto, you are technically one of the last Uzumaki. Would you like to be put in the CRA? No. Wait, what? I thought you said, yeah, I like older women. Your CRA means I'd have to be with women from the Leaf Village, and they're too young and weak, or he thinks of Tatsumi, they're just too angry at the moment. He scratches his chin, as he does think of one person he wants to clap, so be ready for that later. As Hiruzen would, give Naruto a scroll. Now, this scroll is just a simple delivery one, so it is a C-rank mission that he could do by himself. So, plus, since he has Pikachu, that whole partner is still kind of fun. Which, yeah. Pikachu has electrocuted Sakura one time because she petted him too hard. Just for the sake of hilarity. Anyway, Naruto, he would take the scroll with Pikachu as they go to the Rainfall Village. No, Waterfall Village, as Take, the Take Village, as they would go. Naruto would feel at home once he sees the big tree, as he lands. He meets Shibuki, the clan, mayor, not clan, but the village head, as he gives him the scroll. He nods, as he invites Naruto to stay, at least have a meal. His daughter would be here soon, and yeah, Naruto would be like, okay, sure, why not? As Naruto, he sits, he rests, as Pikachu, the kids are loving Pikachu. They find him adorably cute, as Pikachu could show off his electricity, and Naruto just tell them, hey, be careful. He can shock you by accident if you pet him too hard. As Pikachu would playfully discharge electricity, which does scare some children, but they realize, hey, Shock Mouse. Cool. Where can I get one? You don't? Sorry. They would be sad, but Naruto wouldn't really care, as he knows that humans and, the ninjas, if they had Pokemon, they'd be just god-awful human beings with it. So he would not allow that to stand. Anyway, as Shibuki's daughter would finally come in. And I'm also changing how this works a lot. So you would have this woman who has green hair, yellow eyes, bronze skin, and a voluptuous, curvy figure. Naruto would drool instantly, as Pikachu would shock him to just get him back into thing, but not like a huge thunderbolt, but just like a playful spark towards his ankles, like a kind of like a joy buzzer type shock, as Naruto would snap out of it. He would introduce himself as Naruto Uzumaki. The girl would introduce her as Fu. Yes, Fu is a lot older in this one. There's a reason why. As Fu would say she is going to be the new person to run this whole shebang, as she'll run the... Sorry. Fuck. I didn't realize I could yawn like that. Anyway, as she's saying she's gonna run the whole Take village when her dad Shibuki retires, which is in a few years. Naruto's just like, interesting. How old are you, fool? 16. Nice. I'm 12. Aw, you're just a kid. I'm a ninja. Kinda here on a mission. As, Fu would call him cute. As Naruto's just like, fuck. Fine then. He would strike out while hitting on Fu, despite his attempts. But Fu would understand Naruto is hitting on her, so she would flirt but tease the fuck out of him. They would have a decent dinner, and it would cap off with Naruto sensing something off in the distance. As Pikachu would look at him, the two would nod as they saying, there's something they gotta go check out. They would ask, what does he mean, as Naruto leaves, and so does Pikachu. We cut to right outside the Take village when there's this weird hooded figure. She's just casually just strolling through. She has red hair and glasses as she pushes them up as she's saying, so, this is where it's at. As Naruto would stand in front of her and ask, who is she? She would look at Naruto and without a second thought would rush in, kick Naruto towards the tree, but to her surprise, Naruto would tank the kick, not really budging as he would grab her, throw her up in the air as she would then weave some hands as she's saying, water style, water bullet jutsu, as she spits out water bullets down on Naruto. Naruto would easily be able to dodge these as Pikachu would show up, discharge a thunderbolt attack, electrocuting the girl as she falls down, but turns into a puddle of water. Naruto and Pikachu, they look around as they don't see her. Then they hear a loud explosion just a few feet away as he rushes towards and he sees there's a tree that kind of goes underground. He would quickly rush under as him and Pikachu would, discharge a little bit of electricity to help illuminate the light pathway as the corridor goes really long. It's strange. Naruto, he's counting the paces as he realizes they're running just under the city. Shit. As he's thinking, if she's not here, then she totally got him. As Naruto saying, fuck, 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 fuck. He doesn't know if, he should continue on or go back. As then he hears something else. He hears words being spoken. As, we cut to this mysterious woman. As she weaves some hand signs. She claps her hands. As she's saying, Uzumaki Sealing Jutsu. Whirlpool Vortex. As a jar that is contained seemingly breaks as a giant blue vortex of chakra swirls around as from the rubble of said destroyed container, red chakra is oozing out as Karin opens her mouth as the red chakra and the blue vortex just swirl into her. Naruto would just barely walk into the sight of what looks like a weird, really fucking weird Boo-esque, Remember when Super Boo went into the throat of that weird guy who shot his dog? Or went into the throat of Vegito? So he would see the red chakra, going into her, into her mouth as it's also bubbling around her. It looks really weird and disturbing as the blue vortex is surrounding her in the jar container. As soon, the red chakra stopped. The blue swirling vortex subsided as the woman smiles as she fixes her glasses. As she's saying, well, that marks 2. As she then disappears, kicks Naruto right in the nuts. No hesitation, my guy. She fucking being brutal. As she sends Naruto right into the wall in the ceiling. As she then disappears, Pikachu would shoot out an electric bolt that, it hits, yet again, turns into pure water. They're pissed. Naruto, he's just barely able to use a shadow clone to throw his ass forward, since he can't really run moving his thighs. So Shadow Clones had to yeet his ass forward as Pikachu dashes forward with electricity surging through his body too. Naruto is just like, damn it, as he then coats his body with the chakra as he flies forward using pretty much the emotional spectrum, using his willpower. So he goes forward, he catches up with this red-haired woman as She smiles, seeing that Naruto is also flying, as wings are flapping off of her back now that she's up in the air. Pikachu's just like, fuck, I'm stuck on the ground. As Pikachu looks at the trees, as then he's just got it. As he dashes forward and, goes through the trees for right now. As Naruto's saying, who are you? The woman would smile and she's saying, no one special. Just someone collecting some pets, she'd say. As she'd smile. As, she fixes her glasses and she's saying, your chakra. Her eyes widen as she's saying, you have one. Huh? She rushes towards Naruto, slamming into him as they're now in the trees. As Karin has her body, pressed up against Naruto as she begins to lick his neck. Naruto's just like, what the fuck is going on here right now? Why can't I move? As, he looks down and he sees that this woman had, seemingly after hitting him on pinning him to the tree, had spewed out some sort of webbing and he can't move his arms. But no, this weird woman with a slight strange bondage fetish had, tied up Naruto and begin to lick his neck, his cheek, as she bites on his ear. Naruto's saying, what the fuck is going on here? As he's just saying, no fucking way. This bitch is crazy. This is not how I'm gonna die. Oh no, I'm not gonna lose my virginity. I'm gonna die here is what's gonna happen. As this is not how things goes. As, Karin does grab Naruto's junk. Yes, this is Karin. As she's saying, which one do you got? As Naruto's saying, what are you? As, he can't help but to get excited. Karin, she's also a little bit older in this one. She is 18 and she was one of Orochimaru's prize students before she gouged out one of his eyes because fucking savage Karin, why not? But she also kind of inherited an unhealthy obsession with the younger boy. Younger men. She sees one that has promising potential. She won't be afraid to, introduce him to manhood early on. So, Naruto's just like, what are you going to do? Is Karin saying, she's Karin Uzumaki. Who are you? As Naruto's eyes widen, you say, I'm, Naruto Uzumaki? As she then has a smile, as she's saying, so it's perfect then. What do you mean? As Karin would undo Naruto's pants, Naruto's just like, no. As, Karin saying, relax, we're both Uzumakis. This will help the bloodline be pure. As Naruto saying, I don't even know you. As, she's saying, well, she grabs onto him saying, clearly that's not bothering you right now. As Naruto saying, I need an adult. Karin saying, I'm 18, so I am an adult. Naruto saying, I'm pretty sure this isn't what adults do. As, Karin saying, yeah, they do. As she proceeds to slam herself onto Naruto. Naruto thus experienced vagina for the first time, could not help but to nut instantly. I'm sorry, Naruto, but I'm doing you dirty, my guy. As, Karin feels Naruto instantly releasing the milky release as she slaps Naruto across the face. Naruto's just like, ow. As, he's still out of tension right now. As she's saying, don't do that without my permission again, as she begins to ride Naruto ferociously. Naruto can't do anything as, he's just saying, please stop, this feels weird, as Karin grabs him, kisses Naruto with her, full tongue action. She is molesting Naruto full force right now, I'm not lying to you, as, Naruto is just like, Pikachu, help me, as Pikachu decides, sorry master, as he uses thunder, shoots it up into the sky as the clouds strike down where Karin and Naruto is. Unfortunately for the two, it was just as Naruto and Karin came, so there was a bit more fluid that did more damage to them in certain areas. As, yeah, no, Naruto, he's holding his crotch as he's just saying, ah, that felt very, very weird. As, Karin's just like, yes, next time have your Pikachu shocked during the entire time. As Naruto's just like, the fuck? As, she gets up right away. Naruto's just like, dear God, that's supposed to knock out someone. As Karin saying, oh, I love pain. As she grabs Naruto by the throat, lifts him up. As, she sees Naruto, he's healing. She's already healed too because she's has two beasts. As she thinks, you have some 6 or higher. So, you either have the 6 or the 9 tails. As Naruto gulps, why? As Karin saying, well, if the fox is your pet, I can't steal it. But I can have you be my pet instead. As, Karin would proceed to drop down some things, which her eyes do become yellow slits, which Naruto's just like, the fuck? As she pulls Naruto's neck as she bites down on Naruto, causing a red Uzumaki swirl to form in a pattern. Hold up. Okay, I couldn't find anything. So imagine if 3 Uzumaki whirlpool marks would form around Naruto's neck, and then towards the end of him, where it would cap off in a circle, rather than be a circle, they would then connect to the very center, as it is 3 whirlpools connecting, about to be into a bigger whirlpool, as Karin pulls back, as she's saying, that's another gift from her to her new boy toy. Naruto is just like, I feel weird, as she's saying she shared Uzumaki chakra with an Uzumaki, and, Kurama's eyes widen as he sees his brother and sister. He asks them, how? As we cut to Ichibu and Chome inside of the cage. As, the cage seemingly was breaking and changing, forming again as 2 red boxes appeared right beside it, as, lo and behold, Chome and Ichibu are now there. As they explain that weird girl, she just meh. Ichibu explains how Orochimaru found out that her chakra could subdue the Bijus. It's kind of like putting us on knockout gas. Her chakra's like a roofie, my guy, as Kurama's eyes widen. So, yeah, she just shared it with Naruto, and us too, by extension. But why? Well, you saw what she just did to your Jinchuriki, right? So Kurama nods as he's saying, yeah, he's probably gonna have some mental issues for a bit. As, yeah, no. Naruto gets thrown to the ground by Karin as Karin, she disappears. Naruto, with his pants down, he's just like, I got raped. And then I got bit. What is this bullshit? As then he thinks I should have used the multiverse jutsu. As, he goes back to not Uzu, but he goes back to the Hidden Leaf, and he is very different. Come Bridge Builder arc, Naruto, he kinda quiet. Hiruzen would ask Naruto what happened on his mission, and he'd say nothing. He doesn't really tell anyone what had happened with Karin, due to, it'd be kind of weird. However, there is one person who noticed Naruto's behavior, and was able to figure out, something close. So we cut to Anko Matarashi pulling in Naruto. I don't know, she invited him for some tango because he's being such a splendid ninja, and she has some questions about it. Some questions about Naruto. Naruto, during the interrogation, would find out that Anko too was, you know, used by Orochimaru. She would show him the curse mark. Naruto would show her his and explain how it was a woman with red hair, and only when her eyes became yellow slits did this happen. Which she's just like, I don't know anyone like that, but it could have been Orochimaru. As Naruto saying, I hope not. She says, why? As Naruto sweat drops, as he gets quiet. He's just saying, she did some things. Anko, she would hug Naruto. She would hold him as she's just like, worst case scenario, it was Orochimaru. In that case, I'm sorry. Because he did that to me as well, Naruto. Or Naruto would look at Anko and he'd hug her. The two would have this solemn moment. And then Naruto saying, best case scenario, she was just one of Orochimaru's henchmen that got too freaky. As Naruto's just like, I don't really think that's the best case scenario. As he admits that she, saying he's her boy toy. As he admits he's not been able to stop because due to Karin's chakra kind of mixing in with Naruto, he's developing faster, I guess you could say. He's gotten a growth spurt just recently, but not like height. It was more like an area that got a growth spurt. As Naruto would explain, at first he had decent, like he thought he was decent, like it, like he read that the ninja average was 6, and he's just like, ha. It looks like I'm not just the 9 tails, but the 9-inch Jinchuriki too. Haha. As Anko would, blush at this, and she's saying, uh-huh. And, well, Naruto's saying, well, she made she made it more. And Naruto's just like, was he not enough then? Is that why? Or, Anko's just like, she made it more? Naruto nods, as he's saying, it's weird. She's saying, why? Because now it's like more of a hassle in the morning. What do you mean? As he's saying he wakes up and that shit is just harder to control. He's knocked down so many things due to recklessness, and he's accidentally, like, hurt himself because he wasn't careful. As she's still not following. Naruto would tell her, he wakes up, the thing is at attention. It won't go down. He has to do something, and it bothers him because the only thing that helps him is him thinking about what had happened with him and Karin, and he feels like that's just twisting him. And he's just like, is this because of the curse mark or what? As Anko then goes like, oh, poor boy. As, she would try and comfort Naruto one time with a hug, but Naruto would see the curse mark, and for some reason, he really didn't know why, but he decided to bite down on Anko's neck, and he began to suck. Anko would let out a moan of pain and pleasure as Naruto was doing this. She would say, Naruto, stop. As, it only took a few seconds, but Naruto, once he removes his mouth, the curse mark just fades away as she feels it gone. Naruto, the curse mark around his body would cause the red whirlpools to just appear all over his body. So you have random patterns of ever-flowing, ever-connecting red whirlpools that just went around Naruto's body. Anko would be like, Naruto, are you okay? As Naruto, he's just saying he needs to go. He can't, stay here. As, he gets up and she sees that his pants are about to rip off as she grabs him. As she body flickers him and her to her apartment. As she throws Naruto to the bed. Naruto saying, what the? As she's saying, considers this a thank you as she jumps on Naruto. Naruto does not fight this as he fucks Anko this night. She would suck him off really well. This would be the first time he experiences head. My boy Naruto takes it like a champ. As, Anko would want him to go down on her. Naruto, I'm not gonna lie to him. I had told him this is the funniest way to use your powers for intercourse, my guy. As he decides to use the Speed Force. Now, not what you think, as he coats his fingers with chakra, does rapid fire machine gun fingering and rapid fire tongue paddling. Anko becomes a waterfall herself as she squirts all over the bed. Naruto was not prepared for this, so he got an inadvertent shower as he wipes the Anko ejaculant off of his face. He licks his lips a little bit as he's just saying, wow, I can't believe that worked. As, she's panting. She looks at him like, who the fuck taught you that? As Naruto's just saying, I just wanted to test it out. As Anko's, she's just scowling at Naruto. As Naruto's just like, I'm gonna go in. Anko's just like, fine, but, she sees the size. She couldn't get it down her throat, but she tried her best. But no, it couldn't go. As, she does squirm when Naruto puts it in at first. Naruto proceeds to fuck Anko for the next 3 hours. They go from missionary to cowgirl to doggy style to pile driver. It does end with Naruto, finishing all over Anko's chest and face, since, he really can't be caught lacking pulling. Like, there's no excuse for him to pull out with the Speed Force. So, yes. Anyway, Anko would lay, in a pool of her and Naruto's ejaculant. Naruto would leave. As Naruto says, I hope that wasn't a one-time thing. But at the same time, I'm like 99% sure I am too young to be doing this bullshit, and this will have repercussions later. Naruto shrugs his shoulders as, Kurama, he's trying to talk to Naruto, tell him that he doesn't have to do this shit, but, Ichibu and Chome are saying, yeah, no, that Karen girl is worse. What do you mean? She does shit like this all the goddamn time with, she would fuck from guy to girl. She would actually steal their jutsu. What? Yeah. Naruto's gonna find out in his curse mark that there is some jutsus there that he can use, but ultimately mean nothing. Because, yeah. Trust me, this curse mark of Karin's isn't gonna last long for Naruto. As we'll cut to, the Hidden Leaf Village getting ready to go, not the Hidden Leaf Village, but Team Kakashi getting ready to go on the bridge building arc. As Tazuna wouldn't say anything, he would see Naruto, and he would just understand that, this kid's been through some shit, and I could just feel it. Naruto, you okay? Naruto would look at Tazuna as he's saying, just fine. Kakashi would also realize something's up with Naruto, but he could never get Naruto to open up. Things are kind of weird. Anyway, as Naruto leaves, they all leave. The Demon Brothers, when they appear, Naruto would easily, and I do mean easily, destroy them with the Speed Force. Electricity coursing through his body would be enough to body both of them, sending them flying. He would use the chains to hang them from their own, use their own chains to hang them from the tree, as Naruto would grab each of their arms and force themselves to impale their brother's chest just outside of the heart and lungs, but leave their hands there, as Naruto, some darkness is leaking out of him, but it's fine, as Kurama's just like, that was brutal. I like it. As, Naruto, he kind of has to use some people to let out his frustrations. So, yeah, we would cut to Zabuza trying to fight Kakashi. But Naruto would try and would not try, but would actually tell Kakashi to stand down, as Pikachu, he's right next to Naruto. As Zabuza would laugh at first, and so Naruto, he flares his chakra. Power erupts from him as the mist is quickly pushed out, and I do mean pushed away. Naruto's aura erupting from him caused a huge shockwave, pushing out this mist. As it cleared, Haku's eyes widen at Naruto's strength as Naruto rushes in. He punches through Zabuza's sword, breaking it. Zabuza was able to just narrowly dodge, but the force just barely sent some of the debris into the debris and fragment and parts of the sword into Zabuza's body. He was able to pull out some pieces as he lets the blood get on the broken part of the sword as it starts to reform itself. Zabuza's pissed that Naruto broke his prized possession. Naruto does not really give a fuck. He rushes in again as Pikachu launches thunderbolts as Zabuza has to dodge those, but Naruto, nah, he can grab the lightning and actually redirect it, shooting them as lightning spears, surprising everyone around them. As Naruto, he's able to catch Zabuza lacking when he uses a Shadow Clone Jutsu. And this is what Zabuza was terrified about. For one instance, he saw Naruto's eyes, and it looked so disturbing, as though it was a blue iris. There were multiple ones, all connected to one another, with the pupils looking at multiple directions, at every direction. It looked so disturbing. Zabuza's momentarily lapse of this left him open, as Naruto would drive his hand through Zabuza's chest. Just a pure, hand, kya. Haku would appear, trying to stab Naruto, but Naruto would easily dispose of Haku, decapitating her as she falls to the ground dead. Naruto, looking cold, he looks at them as he's saying, well, that was fun. As Naruto would see their bodies, and he knows it's just really, really recent, so he's gonna use something. As Naruto then calms down, he claps his hands as two things appear. Two posts. One stone of white marble and one of black onyx granite as aura radiates from them. As it shoots down to the bodies of Haku and Zabuza, a huge burst of light and then darkness floods the area. As when they clear, not Zaku, Zabuza and Haku, the ship of Zaku, ship named Zaku, my bad. Anyway, the two awaken as they see Naruto. As Naruto tells them, leave him alone. He's not really in the mood to kill again. He can only bring people back after he's barely recently killed them. As everyone else is just surprised at Naruto. Pikachu just crawls on Naruto's shoulder as he's trying to comfort Naruto. As Naruto would scratch Pikachu's head, Naruto would look at Haku as he's just like, huh, you're kind of cute. You see, Naruto, I guess you could say, after some time, he's kind of grown apathetic, but not fully apathetic. His emotions are trapped within him. You see, the love aspect of him has kind of been twisted right now. So, yeah. And then him with Anko, that kind of just muddied the thing up more. He's more confused. He doesn't really know what to do. As, we cut to Tazuna thanking Naruto for saving his ass yet again. And, well, when they get to the house, Haku and Zabuza are there too, which is kind of weird, but they're pretty much gonna be like, hey, you're gonna stay here, and you're gonna be the muscle for this village. Consider that your payment for doing that. But I'm a wanted ninja. Yeah, but there's a new one in charge, right? Yeah, Meiturume. The third one died recently. Why? I feel like you can get along with her. I don't want to. Do you want to die again? No. Okay then. Be friends with May. Anyway, as besides, he even admits the seven swordsmen of the mist might be useful for them now that the Civil War is over. So, yeah. Plus, he mentions how this would be a good chance for Haku to, meet a decent guy. If not, he will just have to take her for himself. As Haku would blush at this, and Zabuza would scowl at Naruto because Haku is like his daughter. So, yeah. See, we now cut to Tazumi, Inari, and... No. Inari, Tazuna, and Tazumi. Yeah. Is it Tazumi? No. Inari? No, it is Tatsumi. No. Tasumi. No. Tazuna. What up? Anyway, back to the order as, Tsunami. Tsunari. Tanari. Anyway. She would comfort and ask Naruto what's wrong because she could pick up because she got the mother vibes. Naruto would actually, thinking, fuck it, why not? He would confide in her that, he recently had relations with two women who were way older than him, and now it's kind of mucking with his head. He thought that it was something he would want, but the first time it happened, it was under a much more, less endearing mannerism. She would feel bad that Naruto kind of got raped, but she'd ask about the second one, and the second one also, she'd tell him it's because none of them were really out of love. Naruto just tilts his head as he's saying, love. As then he remembers the emotional spectrum. In order for him to find true peace and balance, he has to have all emotions in check. He did do that, and he was able to learn the jutsus. But that doesn't mean he can't ever, have emotional troubles. He would just have to, rather than meditate, have to figure out that emotion. So he asked her, how does one know when he is in love? She would shrug. She would tell him about how, Nari was born, she had her husband, then her husband died shortly after, and then there was the stepdad issue, and the stepdad died. It broke her, and her gato, and this bullshit has... Yeah. She wishes she could have another, man in the house, but she thinks that if Gato were to take her life right now, take her as hostage, it'd just be easier for her to commit suicide so her father doesn't have to worry, which Naruto's just like, hey, how about no? Now, Naruto, he does try and be as nice as possible with her, but this is where things get kind of strange. For you see, when Gato's men do show up at the door, and Zabuza and Haku are the one to dispose of them, she looks at Zabuza, and asks to see his face. Despite him not having eyebrows, she thought he was kind of cute when she saw the face. So, hey, Haku and Inari seemingly got an instant brother-sister connection going too, so that's also a benefit for them. Naruto would see this as he wonders, what would it like to be in a family? He grabs his chin as he disappears from the group. They wouldn't know this, but, it would be late at night when Naruto did this, so he would disappear from the group as... he's just outside of the border of the Land of Waves when he would run into someone. Now, this person would also be a redhead, but it would not be the same redhead that molested him. This woman is a lot kinder. She's the new Mizukage, as Naruto meets with Meiturume. And by meets with, I mean like he kind of just showed up outside of the Mizukage's manor, and Well, yeah, she's just like, okay, how can I help you? I'm Naruto Uzumaki. As, you know, he bows, as then he gives a letter. She reads the letter, her eyes widen, as she's saying, does the third know about this? As Naruto would shake his head, as he's saying this is something he wanted to take care of since the Hokage can't stop the matter with clan heads. So, she reads, she nods, and she's saying she does have one in mind. This person actually has, just like her two Gekkei Genkais. She actually inherited the two clans feuding mostly, and that would be the Yuki and the Kagyu clan. Now, a girl with black and white hair would walk in through the room as this shinobi would also be there as she lives with Mei. She's Mei's goddaughter. As Naruto looks at her, he bows as the girl, she bows as she looks at her godmother Mei. Mei nods as you know she would pull out a bone, hand it to Naruto. Naruto would then cut his hand and then sign a contract with blood. She would then do the same as the two then weave hand signs, and Naruto would say, sealing jutsu, as from his body, the three tails that was sealed within him is expelled and given to this girl. Now, you may be wondering why and how. Naruto has decided to do something with the curse mark. He's letting the Uzumaki chakra properly meld into his body once he started to understand it, but he realizes that, you know, Chomi and Isibu, they don't need to be in him. So he's gonna leave him out of him. So yeah. This fragment of Isibu is now in this hybrid clan head, Mei's goddaughter, who would be later introduced in the Chunin exams. Don't worry, because this will be Haku's teammate, who will later come into play. As yeah, Naruto would go back to his team as he knows who he's going to give Chomei to. He just hopes that the person he gives it to won't be mad at him for kind of just showing up. Now, we time skip. The bridge is done. Naruto has returned back to the village as he would go to the Aburame clan. He would ask Shino if he could speak to his older sister, Shinobu, as Shinobu and Naruto speak. Shinobu has become aware of Naruto. She's a Chunin, as she asks Naruto, what does he want? Naruto offers her a special, gift. But if she accepts, she cannot tell anyone where she got this gift from, and understand that, it's only a fragment and the whole creature is somewhere else. And he would like her help to retrieve said creature. It would be hers to have, but, the person who has it kind of did Naruto dirty, and he kind of wants her gone. Due to he can't feel peace as long as she's alive. She would look at him. What happened? Naruto would say, none of your business.